Didn't think we were going to get this fixed. But Starlink came through. Thank you, Elon. And we are back. We are getting these interviews done before election time, and we are going to let you, the voter, know who is on the ballot. Tonight, I am going to be speaking with Toby Orchard, who is running for the East Side Alderman position in Mountain View, Missouri. How are you, Toby?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming, man. It can be intimidating, as, first time running, right?
Yes.
You're coming in, you love your town, you're wanting to do good things, and now people are wanting to ask you all these questions. You're like, oh my gosh, it just hits you.
Yeah.
Let's start. Tell us who you are, why you decided to run, and what's on your heart.
Okay. I don't really talk that well about myself, so I wrote down my introduction really.
Absolutely.
And it's actually what was on my Facebook post. Most of you have already seen it, but those of you don't. My name's Toby Orchard. I'm a hometown boy, born and raised right here in Mountain View. This town is more than just where I live. It is where my roots are planted, where my family is raised, and where my faith and values are formed. I'm a family man with strong beliefs in Christianity, and those values guide the way I live, work, and serve others. In recent years, I've had the opportunity to work for the city of Mountain View in the water department. Serving our community in this role allowed me to see how our city operates from the inside. I gained firsthand experience with the challenges of our city faces, and learned about the behind-the-scenes work that many citizens never see. That experience gave me a deeper understanding of our municipal government and strengthened my desire to serve our community in a greater way. I am running for City Council Eastward Alderman because I want to help build back Mountain View the way it once was, and even better. I want my children and future generations to have the option to come back home and raise their families right here in Mountain View. To do that, we must focus on growth while holding on to the values that make our town special. We need leadership that will work to bring new businesses into our community, fill empty commercial buildings, and create opportunities for local families to thrive. I believe Mountain View deserves a strong, honest voice that listens to its citizens and works for the good of the entire community.
You hit it on the head, and I just want to, you said a little sentence in there, and I just kind of peeked up. Get back to the way it used to was, or the way it once was. I remember a completely different Mountain View whenever I was a child.
Absolutely.
It seemed like we had pride in our town. And yeah, we still do things like sponsorships and events and stuff, but there was a closer sense of community than there is today.
Yes.
And getting us back to that, I think, is how a small town thrives and doesn't die. Because I'm very concerned of the direction just these small towns in general are going. If you're not growing, you could die. And no, that was very good. I like that. Good job, man. Way it once was. I mean, that should be your campaign slogan: is "Way it once was." That right there just hits the heart. Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of get into this, man. So you're running for Eastward. What are some of the things you saw in this town that made you pique your interest and say, "I need to run"? That need fixed.
The roads. I mean, that's the main thing that you hear all the residents talk about, and that's one thing that I feel like I want to invest most of my time in are the roads. I feel like some of in the last few years, in the last 10 years or whatever, people will talk about fixing the roads, but there's not that one guy that invests his time in it, and that's who I want to be.
Yeah.
I feel like we can get it done if we invest the time in it, and I'm willing to do that.
What's that look like? I know you're just starting everything, but do you have at least a start of a plan on how we could get there?
Yeah, and I've talked about this with a few people. I would like to get a 2-man paver. I don't see why we want to hire out of house whenever we could buy the equipment and do it ourselves, and then in return we have that equipment there for future fixes.
Yeah.
It ain't just a one-time fix. It's a investment that is for the future, and that's what we have to start doing.
Well, that comes down to investing in your community. I mean, you invest in something like that, that's for the long term.
Yep.
Like you said, you're not exporting the needs of the city to a contractor or anything. It's something we can do in-house, get it done. And as the roads deteriorate more, you can go back and just keep redoing the roads that need redone, you know. Right now, there's a lot of potholes, a lot of streets that need fixed. That is no slight on the street crew.
No.
They're working with not near what they need to be able to do what they do. You know, they work hard. I'm not saying anything bad against them, but the fact remains is our roads are bad.
Right.
Getting something like this paver would really help, because then we would have the equipment to be able to do that.
Yes. And you know, that goes back to what I said in my introduction about how whenever I worked at the city, you know, I seen that the street crew, they don't have the tools
Yeah.
to fix the streets the way we need to.
No.
Putting a Band-Aid on things ain't always the best option.
Yeah, and sometimes it's more expensive in the long run.
Yes.
You know?
And I feel like that's what we have given them is a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You know, and we got to make that next step of getting the tools for them to be able to do their job for the residents the way that they want them done.
Well, and I know your dad's like mine, you know, taught us to do it the right way the first time. You don't have to go back and redo it.
Yes, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. And, you know, I'm in the construction world, and you can ask anybody that I've worked with. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is redoing anything. I want it done right the first time.
Amen. People like to hire the guys that do it right the first time, not the ones that slogan is we do it nice because we do it twice. Okay, so let's get into the town condition. You know, our town has some beautiful aspects to it, but over the past 5-10 years, I've been very vocal about this, is we've got empty homes. We've got dilapidated buildings falling down, you know, junk in yards. Town conditions could be better.
Yes.
You know, what do you think about that? Like, do you have a plan to like kind of spruce up Mountain View and make it a more appeasing to the eye place?
You know, I feel like that they've hit on it a little bit. We've started cleaning up some of our buildings downtown. We can definitely move forward with that. I want to see it moving forward, not just stagnant. One thing that I thought that would be a good idea is getting a grant to clean up Jam Up Creek that runs right through the center of town.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, it doesn't have to be an eyesore.
Yeah.
And right now it is.
It is, and it does cause a lot of problems for business owners close to it.
Yes.
You know, if we can figure out a way to, you know, whenever it floods, it floods.
Yes.
And it's hurt like the propane business that sits there. You know, we've seen propane tanks float off or whatever, and that sucks for that business, because then they're out chasing them down. You know, that's something I never thought about before, is Jam Up Creek. You know, I guess you get so accustomed to the eyesore you don't see it, you know, but people coming in from out of town see it.
Yep.
You know, and I don't think that's a very unique idea that I don't think anyone.
It runs right through the dead center of town, you know.
What are your ideas with that?
Well, I mean, you could get a grant not only just to clean it up and make it more appealing, but in that grant, you could also put, say, a bike trail on that, you know, that ran from, say, you got a parking lot at the football parking lot. That's where it starts at, and it could go all the way to the back side of the golf course, and have another parking lot down there where people could park, get their bikes out, and even the people that didn't ride bikes along that. It don't take a lot to put, for say, like a disc golf.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You know, then people that are walking can play disc golf, you know.
Or even just walk the trail.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's promoting something for the youth, because the youth has very little to do in our little towns.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's a very good idea. It's using something we already have, building upon that, making it beautiful for the town while incorporating different things to be done in that, with that, you know.
There's growth there. It's not just, you know, you start with cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And there's growth there. There's so many opportunities with that.
Well, it takes vision, you know, and that's why I've been screaming for the past 6 years, is we need people with vision to get in there, look at something, and be like, it doesn't have to be that. It could be this and this, you know, and we try our dangest to do it. I mean, yeah, we might fail a few times along the way, but if someone's trying, then that we're not staying stagnant, like you said, you know, and that's a very important thing to me. You know, the past 2 elections, one of the big things that's been brought up is money, is resources, is, you know, how we're spending our money. Where do you think the city resources need allocated versus places maybe we use too much money? And I don't know, how should we work towards that with whoever gets elected? Hopefully yourself, because you're running.
You know, places that I feel like our money and resources need allocated, 3 core areas: infrastructure, economic growth, and community quality of life.
Boom.
You know, you have them 3, you're going to be able to build something that the town's proud of.
Yeah.
And that's what it all comes back to, is getting that sense of community is having something for them to be proud of.
Let's talk jobs. I mean, infrastructure alone. Right now, what does Mountain View have to offer for jobs?
You know, we kind of talked about this the other day.
If you don't mind, can you get a little closer to that? Yeah, I'm sorry.
We kind of talked about this the other day with our good buddy Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about, what I say back in the day.
Yeah.
You had Angelica, you had Fab.
Mm-hmm.
Them two corporations created, say 400 jobs.
Major
for our town.
employers.
And back then we was thriving.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get back to, and that's all it takes.
Well, back then, a young person straight out of school didn't have to go on the road for the riverboats or railroad or expedite our most valuable resources, which is young people.
Yeah.
And those who do it, bravo to you, hats off, because someone has to, and you have to make a living for your family. And I respect you guys working out of town.
Mm-hmm.
But Mountain View shouldn't have to be a place where we have to send our young people out and leave their family here.
Mm-hmm.
They should be able to get a decent job here,
Yes.
live their life, grow with their family, build the American dream here in Mountain View, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And what has scared me is we have seen so many businesses go out and no one is replacing those businesses.
Yep.
And that is a scary thing for a small town.
Yes, very scary. Stagnant.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And like you said, infrastructure, that's a big one, and jobs. But for jobs to actually come in, it takes people with a vision, two with energy, to go out and we've got to give these businesses an incentive to come in. We can get these small town mom and pop businesses, which great, we need them. We have one. I love small business.
Mm-hmm.
But we need some major employers as well.
Yes.
They're not going to come into a town if they are have to pay double an electric rate or sewer rate or whatever it is, but they get hit with all these extra just because they are a business.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be incentivizing these businesses to come in. How do you feel about that?
It goes, we hit on this the other day when we was talking a little bit with our good buddy Scott. Look at Willow.
Yeah.
They invested in the future.
Yep.
They have corporations that came in that they didn't take the taxes right now.
Yeah.
They said, come, we'll give you a break for a few years.
Yep.
Because they thought about the future. And now look at them.
Yeah.
So many things are booming over there. And I applaud them, and I hope that we can bring that to Mountain View. Think about the future. Don't just think about right now. If we have to eat a little bit of cost up front for the first couple of years to get them started, who says they're not going to stay for 20 years?
And it's not even eating cost. Just break even. That's still what you're making now.
Right.
Right. There are ways to structure incentives for businesses where no one loses anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then once the time comes to pay the piper, the city, they reap the rewards for that. And it's a snowball effect.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Love's. I know we're picking on Willow right now and in a good way, but Love's came in, and it's been a snowball effect for business after that.
Yes.
And they have that manufacturer or some type of factory out here. I don't know what it's called, but that leads to housing needs.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to contractors, leads to more people, groceries,
Yep.
And more need for these resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important. And it just seems like in Mountain View for so long, our governance has been okay with, this is all we want. We don't want new people. We don't want to grow. But by not growing, we've actually went south and started dying. And that scares me to death. We're a retirement town. Right now, our biggest, and we were talking about this the other day. You made a good point that scared the absolute shit out of me, is what are we going to do when the boomer generation's gone? Our biggest generation.
Yeah.
And you hit it on the head, because I had never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a retirement town, and with that also comes the need to take care of our elderly.
Yep.
But what do you have to? I'll hand it over to you and let you talk a little bit on that.
About taking care of the elderly.
About taking care of the elderly and this being a retirement town.
I would like to, with the elderly, I don't see any reason why we couldn't, if I was to be elected into office, to host a golf tournament at the golf course. It's a city golf course. Host one to where the funds made from that go to the senior house, not the senior housing, but the senior center, to maybe invest in a delivery vehicle for them, for the meals. How many more people would use that if there was that option of delivery for them?
Well, that helps the impoverished or the disincentivized, as I was trying to say, of us, maybe the elderly who can't get out and about to go to the senior citizen for dinner, or
Right.
even if a pickup bus, which I don't know if they already have like a pickup bus, do they?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay, so like even go get them and take them to the senior center
Yeah.
so they can be around people.
Communicate.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, we are very social creatures. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a house by myself for more than 2 days, I'm pulling my freaking hair out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's a good idea. Use the city resources that we already have, like the golf course. Host a tournament. Use those funds to help the disincentivized among us.
Yes.
That do need the help, that have done so much for
us.
our generation
Yes.
to succeed.
Yes, take care of those who took care of us.
Amen.
And I heard my grandpa told me that whenever I was younger, and I've carried it with me.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why we can't grow that senior center.
Yeah.
And it just takes a little bit every year. It don't have to dwindle. It don't have to stay stagnant. We can build that
And improve on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just look at the tennis court. They turn it into
Oh man.
They turn it into a pickleball, and
Yeah.
there's people there all the time, right?
Yeah. You get me started on that.
Talk a little bit about it.
The school took the incentive to invest into the tennis courts. And not only did they turn it from the tennis courts, but it's also a pickleball court. And there's not any given night that you go by that place and that you don't see people, families there playing, So that just goes to show, if you invest in the people, they're going to use it. You're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
And it don't have to be anything spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't have to cost $1 million.
No.
Just
No.
those little things like,
Yes.
And one, it's helping the fat kids get outside. And by fat kids, I mean 90% of America now.
Yes.
I mean, we have obese children, we have obese adults. Anything that promotes getting people outside, away from their phones, off these TVs,
Yep.
that's a good thing.
Yep.
And you see it more in small towns where we are more active outdoors than like the cities and stuff. But think about when me and you were children or teenagers. What did we do on the weekends? We'd go through town, hang out, maybe
Sit in
cause
Walmart parking lot.
yeah, and cause a little ruckus,
Yep. Yep.
Nothing bad. But you go through on a Friday or Saturday night, you don't even see that anymore.
No. And it's sad because, I've noticed in kids in today's society, they don't even know how to hold conversations.
Yeah. Look away, no eye contact.
Yeah. And it honestly started like I feel like my generation still has some effect in it. Like we started in my generation, we started getting the cell phones, we started getting the PlayStations, we started getting all that, and you start seeing it affected in my generation, and it just gets worse as it goes in generations.
Well, and our generation was in a unique place because we knew the world before that stuff, and then we were integrated into it. The difference with us, everything's online now.
Yeah.
So like back when we had the PlayStation 1 and 2, we had parties where everyone would go over to a house, bring their PlayStations, and it was still a social event.
Yep.
Nowadays, you just hook it up and you're playing with someone in Cambodia and China.
Online live.
Yeah, and you can turn that mic off and you're sitting in a dark room eating your Cheetos, getting fat, and just sitting there antisocial.
Yeah.
That scares me for our generation.
It does.
We've hit on a lot of problems with Mountain View. I do want to focus on some positives too. What do you see in Mountain View that makes you proud from here?
Something that's happened just in the last few months, the working together with the chamber, that has been something that I feel like can be very powerful. And if we get the chamber, the city, and the school all working together, what are we going to be able to do?
Yeah.
And that's what it all boils down to, is togetherness, and, not having this divide that we have in every aspect.
It's this person versus this person.
Yes. And it's, you're not going to build anything having that divide. You're always going to have your problems. You're always going to have this, that, and this, that. And I know that I'm not going to make every right decision. I'm not going to be able to
You're
make
human.
everybody happy,
Yep.
But I can work with about anybody.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is that gets voted in. I have my preferences. I do. But I can work with anybody.
Yep.
And I've been in a lot of jobs where, I don't agree with everything that the other person says, but I work alongside of them as one goal, and that's to build something better than what you have right now, you know?
Well, and that brings me back. I went to State Lincoln Days about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I can't remember. And I was talking to one of our congressmen, no, Senator Schmidt, Eric Schmidt. And I was griping about something. I was like, dude, and it just seems like we're always given. He said, yeah, he said, politics is the art of not getting everything you want. He said, if you both feel like you've been burned, that means it's a good deal. And he's true. He's right. It's like if this side is not happy with it and this side is not happy with it, that means you compromise in the middle and it's probably going to be pretty good for the people.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think that's a big thing that needs to be a big focus on, say, if you're elected, whoever's elected, is putting egos aside, working with who's elected, and doing the job for the people. It's not about you. It's not about whoever's elected. It's about doing the best for your community.
Yes.
And I think that's gotten lost somewhere along the way.
Yes. You couldn't have said that any better. The sense of togetherness, the sense of community, not the divide that we have right now.
Yeah. Well, talking about that sense of community, that's like, okay, 4 months ago, December, it was right before Christmas, this thing called Reach Across America comes into Mountain View, Missouri. I got a call to go, and I was speaking, doing the live stream for the radio station and everything. Had never heard of it. And dude, the amount of people that showed up for this from West Plains, Poplar Bluff, Springfield. I think we had like a Springfield marching band, or maybe not marching band, but a band.
Yes.
I mean, just so many people showed up. Our legislators showed up to this. And I had never heard about that in Mountain View. Apparently, we have the only veteran cemetery between Springfield and Poplar Bluff, if I remember correctly. That's strictly for veterans. I mean, that's something we could build off of.
Yes, absolutely. Whenever you have them resources coming into our town, what more do you want to see than the people of our town investing in that?
Yeah.
Go down there, put your time in, help build this thing that we have people coming into from out of town. More people coming in from out of town. What does that mean? They're going to stop at our gas stations. They're going to stop at our restaurants. They're going to stop at Walmart. They're going to stop at the mom and pops downtown. It's more than just Wreaths Across America. It's promoting events in Mountain View that will bring people in.
Yeah, and taking advantage of the opportunities that we get.
Yes.
You know how many people they I think it was like a Saturday, and it was like 2 or 3 o'clock, and they're like, hey, where can we go get somewhere to eat in this town? And I rattled off whatever restaurants that we had, but don't have a lot of choices in Mountain View,
Right.
And, at whatever time it was, things were closing. So even then it was like, so you're only down to like 3 different restaurants or fast food, and they're okay. Well, some of them may have just left town, but we need to expand and capitalize on those moments where we get a bunch of bodies together.
Yes.
That's very important.
And if you get the people, to come to town, I guarantee you the businesses would be more apt. Tell them, we got this many thousand people coming into town. You think you guys could stay open a little later this night? And I promise you, the people will work with you if you just work with them too.
Yep. Well, and you're giving them an opportunity to make some more money from customers that they normally don't have.
Yep.
I don't know if most know this, but small businesses around Mountain View struggle a lot. They're not, and most of small businesses, we donate to everything in the sun whenever it comes to football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, FFA, FCLA. There's always a donation to be given.
Yep.
And businesses can only do that if they're taking care of theirs first.
Yep.
And our businesses around here do very well at giving back to the community.
Oh, absolutely.
But what happens whenever this starts? I mean, just look at where the economy is getting. I mean, gas prices are up, and this is not getting political. It's just what it is. The gas prices are up. Times are getting tough.
Yep.
And that hits small towns especially hard because we don't have jobs. A lot of our money. I mean, how many people go to West Plains or Willow for groceries? I mean, we export all of our necessities outside of Mountain View, so that money doesn't circulate through the town. You go to Walmart and you buy something that goes to their bank in New York City. It's not getting circulated back to the town.
Right.
So we need to be able to bring that stuff in, give options to give people a way to spend their money in Mountain View.
Yes. And just in the past month or two, you got the region grocery store that's went in downtown.
Yeah.
So
it's been booming.
Yes. You go by there and you see somebody there all the time, and I like to see that because just like you said, you go to the big corporations, the money is not staying here.
No.
It
goes from your pocket straight out of town to their central bank.
Yep.
Yeah. And it never comes back. They, they don't donate to the stuff.
And I know that we have to. I'm not saying don't use the corporations because that's our jobs, and there's things at the mom and pops that you can't get. That you have to go to Walmart for.
Yeah. Well, how detrimental would it be to Mountain View if Walmart went out of business?
Oh, I mean, it would be horrible.
It would kill us.
Yes.
We are that close to being killed. Is one big business like that. I mean, I don't know how many, but it supplies a lot of jobs around here and decent pay for what it is. Yes. But we need more of that, because they can only hire so many, and their room for growth is totally on us getting the town growing.
Yes.
And that, I don't know, that's just growth equals growth. We've seen it in Willow. We've seen it in West Plains. We need to see it in Mountain View.
Yes. Yes.
Anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up tonight?
Growth. I mean, we've hit it. We've hit it all. I want to see growth.
Yeah.
I think, just in the past couple of weeks, I've walked door to door and talked to a lot of the community, and I think more now than ever, people is ready for change. They're not afraid for change, and that's a positive.
Yeah. And you've seen this town from the time you were a child.
Yes.
You're from Mount View.
Yes.
Homegrown.
Yes.
Been here pretty much your whole life.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen it through the good, the bad, and ugly for the past 34 years. Is that how old you are?
36.
36?
Yeah.
Oh, you're older. You're old, man. But I don't know. If election was tonight and you had one plea to the people on why you should be elected, what would you tell them? And I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
I hit on it a little bit earlier, that I feel like in the past people has talked about fixing the roads, but didn't really put the time in.
Yeah.
And
have a plan.
And that is my main thing, the roads.
Yeah.
2, jobs.
Yeah.
What do we got to do to bring jobs in? Yeah. 3, investing in our kids.
Yeah.
If we invest in our kids, that's not in the now. That's in the 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to come back here and raise their family. They're going to have things for their families to do, If we don't invest in our kids, they're not going to want to come back here and build, and the town's just going to die. Like what we're seeing now. I mean, I don't know about you, but in my class, half of my graduating class gone.
Yeah.
Because we cannot provide for everybody here.
Yeah, and like you said, all the dads have to leave, and they split. They don't get to grow up with their children because they're out there working, busting their hump in a different state, instead of being here raising their family, creating the American dream as it should be, where they want to reside. And I don't know. I see it. We can do it. I see the glimmer of hope. It's just we got to reach out and just pick it up and do it.
Not be afraid of change.
Not be afraid of change. And there's been so many for so long that's been so afraid of change. It's time.
Yep.
It's time. We either do it or we die.
Yep. Yep.
But man, thank you for coming in. I appreciate your time.
Yes.
I think this transparency, talking, getting to know the candidates is very important for our small towns.
Absolutely.
And well,
and I tried to knock every door that I could, and if there is anybody that wants to talk, please come talk to me. Okay. I would be more than happy.
Tell them how to get a hold of you, like email or.
I'll give them my phone number.
Okay.
My phone number, my direct phone number. If you have any questions, just give me a call. 417-247-0766.
You're a brave man.
Hey man, I'm not shying. I'm not shying away from anything.
No, and I respect that, man. You seem to have a heart for the community. It's refreshing to see. You're energized. You're young. That's a big thing. Is getting us younger guys involved. There's not many of us.
We need a voice.
We need voices, and it's time for real men to step up. And do our jobs, and that is to provide for our community, provide for our families. It's time, you know. And okay, well, again, thank you. This was Toby Orchard running for East Side Alderman. Election is coming up April
7th.
7th?
Yep.
April 7th. He will also be at my town hall Q&A, which will be April 3rd, Community Center at
6
p.m. So come on out, ask your questions, meet them in person, meet all the candidates. We're going to have a great, robust conversation. We're not going to hide from anything. We're going to lay it all out there, good, bad, and ugly.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to talk before we leave, I have been on the Ibogaine bill, and it looks like it has been perfected through the House, rolled in, and it's now headed to the Senate. Thank you guys for your support. Now call your senators, bug them, email them, go to their door, knock, say, Get this done. Veterans are dying. Thank you.